I have tried to love this palette. I really have. I love Natasha Denona. I like purple palettes. I like pink palettes, but I just don't know if I can get on with this pinky purple lavender palette. We're gonna see how this palette will play with my fair skin, my blue eyes, and my red hair. If there's too much high contrast here to where the look just looks too much. We're gonna dive into all the details. We're gonna talk about the palette, we're gonna talk about the formulas, we're gonna talk about her inspiration, we're going to do some looks, we're gonna do some swatches, and we're gonna talk about my final thoughts. So if you like this kind of content for the more mature woman, and what beauty products work best for us, consider hitting that subscribe button and joining the family. I'd love to have you. And thank you if you are returning. I have been playing with this for over a week now, and I have tried at least a dozen looks. And honestly, I have not put up a video yet because I did not like any of my looks. They all looked too much. Or it looked like the purple was blending with the pink and it just looked like a watercolor pinky purple look. It's been a challenge for me to find a look that goes with my complexion and that goes with my hair color and my eye color. But I know that everybody was excited to see this Roxa palette, or purple palette in Portuguese, inspired by her Lila palette. It is 15 hues that are both purple leaning and fuchsia, with a couple of contrasting colors to try to give you some versatility. Any 3 down is a look, and any horizontal row is a look, and any quad can be a look. So there should be some versatility, but I have an idea. Let's talk about what we have here. We have a bold, limited edition 15 shade palette with vibrant purple fuchsia hues featuring the brand's iconic formulas, but also debuting a new silky-matte formula. She did that to help make these purples not dry and help formulate a better purple shade. It's cruelty-free, there's a 24-month shelf life, it was made in Italy, and her inspiration was the Lila palette. There are 4 sparkling foiled shadows, there's 1 metallic, 1 wet effect, and 8 silky matte shades in this palette. The names are all underneath the shadows, and the back, typical to her midi-sized palette, allows you to poke these pans through and organize the palette however you like, or take some out from another palette, which in this case would probably be what I wanted to do, and create my own customized palette from a variety of Natasha's palettes. First, I'm going to put up some swatches that I did outside in the bright light on my arm, and then we're going to create some looks, and then I'm going to actually do some face swatches. I find that if you do them on your forehead, that's as close to your eye as you're going to get, and I find that that's a better representation of the palette than actually doing arm swatches. And then I'll give you my final thoughts and help you have enough information to decide if this is something that you would want to purchase or pass on. If you have my similar colorings, my similar eye colors, I do think that if you have a darker complexion, I think that if you have dark brown hair, you have brown eyes, I think that this could look gorgeous on you. So on my eyes, I have as a primer, I have this little Mario palette. I really like this as a base for my eyes. You have these 2 creamy shades that you can customize the coverage that you want on your eyes, and I find that it doesn't disrupt the color of the palette. However, it allows me to cover up the veining on my lids, and then it gives you a little powder to powder over it, and I really enjoy this. Do you need a lid primer? Can you use a concealer for your lids? You can. If you're like me and you're just trying to cover up veining and discoloration on your aging mature lids, that is fine. If you're younger and you have oily lids, you may want an actual eye primer to hold your shadow in place. So I'm going to pick up this little fluffy brush, and I'm gonna go straight in for it. I'm gonna go into my favorite color in this palette, and that is this Eclipse, which is the deepest purple in here. I will use this one, but that is definitely not my favorite type of purple. We didn't talk about the packaging. So the packaging is similar to her golden palette. It's got the waves, and it's also got a shift to kind of purple to teal look. I think that it's a nice idea. However, I think that it picks up fingerprints really easy, and it always looks smudged unless you're wiping it off, which I'm not going to constantly be wiping off the tops of my palette. Even though it's pretty, it's very prone to fingerprints. Okay, so I'm going to pick up a little bit of this Eclipse. There is kick up in the pan because these are silky matte. There's not a lot of fallout from the mattes. I think that it's just the powdery formula in the pan, so that to me doesn't matter. So I'm just going to put that dark color on the outer V. Then I'm going to take this little pencil brush, and I am going to add it in this color right here. I'm just going to use that to blend out the edges. Remember, I'm trying to make a wearable look out of this palette. So I'm going to go in with this color right here. This is Bolt. It's a sparkling foiled graphic design of violets with silver shift. And depending on where you swatch it, how much silver you pick up can change the color. I'm purposely kind of going into the silver portion because I want more silver than I want purple. And I'm going to pat that on. I don't think that this applies well with a brush. You're definitely going to have more fallout if you use that method. I'm going to take a shader brush, and I'm going to go into this color right here. This is the color Phoebe. It's a silky matte lilac. Other than a shimmer, this is the lightest color in the palette. I don't have a creamy neutral that I can use in my inner corner like I'd like, but I'm going to try a sparkle instead. So I think that's a very wearable look, very simple. If you've seen reviews on this palette, you've probably seen really bold, blown out looks. And I've achieved plenty of those, but that's not the look that I think is most flattering on me. So I'm going to go in with this color right here. This is a beautiful color. This is Stargirl. It's a sparkling foil duochrome pink with a bronze champagne shift. And I'm going to take that, I'm going to put it in my inner corner. You can definitely see that shift. So let's see how that would look over this middle section. So I think this is very wearable. I'm going to go in and line underneath my eye. I want to line with the same color right here on myself. I will put on some mascara and we'll look at that. I'll do a little bit more of a dramatic look on this eye. So in this one, I'm going to go in with this big fluffy brush, and I'm going to pick up this color right here, which again, this is the color Phoebe, that silky matted lilac. And I just want to put that all across my lid. So I'm going to deepen up the crease a little bit, and I'm going to go in with this color Jacaranda right here. This color is not patchy, but my eye is damp from allergies, so it's a little watery right here. We're going to go in with this color right here. This is Concord. This is another pretty purple. We're going to go right on the inside of that Jacaranda. Now we're going to go in with this color right here. This is Heather. I'm going to go in with this pink color right here. This is supposed to be the wet look. This is Flutter, a sparkling wet lilac pink. And this doesn't feel like it has a wet feeling to me. It feels dry. We're going on my hand. It does look good. Going on my eye, it has a little bit of fallout. Not much though. I'm gonna go in above that purple, and I'm gonna go in with this color right here. That is Velour. I'm gonna take Velour, and I'm just gonna go right on top of this purple. Just to give a little bit of a gradient and also smooth out the purple's edge. I'm going to take that same color and I'm going to go underneath my eye. So I want to go in, I want to lighten up this space right here. So I'm going to go in with Phoebe and blend. Put that on the inner eye. I'm going to blend that out just a little bit more. You know what? I'm going to go in with this color. This is a Vintage Rose. It's called Regal. It's a very smooth color. It's a very light color. And soften the whole look with that shadow. And if we wanted to play around with it a little bit, that could be a look right there. Or I could go in with this color Cerise. Make this more of a pinky look. I'm gonna go back in with Stargirl. I'm gonna pat. Take this purple liner by Revant. I'm gonna clean this look up, put some mascara on, and come back. Okay, so these are my finished wearable looks. Keep in mind, I have done about a dozen, and these are probably the most likable that I've created on myself. This is my favorite. I like just keeping that dark purple on the outer V and lighter colors on the inside. This one is more smoked out and a little more pinky. I think that this pairs very well with this blush by Morphe. This is the color Intoxicated in the Euphoric Rush Cream Blushes, I love these, and I love the little cushion that it comes with. It's got a mauve hue, which I think goes great with this eyeshadow story. On my lips, I'm going to use this new Valentino lipstick. I love these formulas. They are replaceable. You can replace this little piece, but it is the formula that I like. This is very moisturizing and smoothing on my lips, and it has pretty good staying power too. I will link this in the shade below. Actually, I've been lining it with this new Refi liner. It's supposed to be blurring. Normally I would line first, but every time I do that, I blur it in, and then you can't see the color of the Valentino like I just did. Let's do some forehead swatches. I like to do forehead swatches because I feel like you can really see the colors in the vicinity of the eye, and you have similar skin there. Your skin on your arm is tougher. It has more sun exposure, sometimes hair, and so I find that the swatches don't look as true to life as they will on your eyes. So the first one I'm going to swatch, I'm going to be looking at my cheat sheet, is Dixie. This is a crystal sparkling warm pink with blue and purple reflex. Okay, next we're going to go into Jacaranda. That's a medium dark violet. These are those new silky matte formulas, and they are very creamy. Then we're going to go into Flutter, which is a sparkling wet lilac pink. So for those of you who have different coloring than me or like a little bit of a bold look, you may really enjoy this pink purple combination. I prefer to either do pink or purple, but not combine the two. Then we have Phoebe, which is another silky matte in the color lilac. And even though this color is a little bit muted, I think that it does not lean pink, and so I like it with the purples. The next one is Regal, which is a metallic vintage rose. And I find that that's good for lightening any color if you go on too heavy. I could put it over this eye. It's very smooth, there's no fallout, there's not too much glitter. True metallic without too much sparkle. And then we have Eclipse, which is the deepest purple in the palette, and it's my favorite. Then we have Stargirl, which is a sparkling foil duochrome. It's pink and it has a bronze champagne shift. And that is a stunner in the palette as well. We're going to go into Bolt. Bolt is a sparkling foiled graphic design violet with this silver shift. And that one is also a stunner. Okay, then we're going to go into Heather, which is another one of the silky mattes. This is a medium dusty coral. Then we're going to go into Cerise, which is a dark muted fuchsia. Then we're going to go into Sweet Pea, which is a light, medium, warm lilac. And imagine that if I'm doing a pink look that I would like this one, but I don't like it mixed with the purples. And then we have Concord, which is a sparkling foiled medium violet, and I do really like this one. Then we have Velour, which is a medium lilac, and there's really not a whole lot of difference between this one and this one. If you look at the shades, it's just a different gradation. And then you have Brink, which is a sparkling foiled pink. This is a really pretty color. And then you have Orchid, which is the medium purple. And I don't care for this color purple. Got a bit too much pink in it for me. And that's the color story. So I like this one. This is okay. I love this one. Love this color. Love the pinks. The true pink sparkles or shimmers. I'm gonna wipe these off and then I'm gonna give you my final thoughts. I'm back. So what are my final thoughts? I think that the formulas in this palette are true Natasha Denona quality. I think that, you know, is it a purple palette? It is a purple palette if you are considering lavenders and purple adjacent tones. When I think of a purple palette, I'm thinking of that dark blue purple like Jacaranda. I'm thinking of that really dark purple that's sort of an aubergine like the Eclipse color. And I'm looking for shades that are adjacent to the Eclipse. Now I know you don't necessarily want to put that all over your eye. I think my favorite color story in this palette would be this dark and then going in with this Concord and then taking one of the shimmers. And I won't be pulling for this palette. Is there any flaws with this palette? I think there's a tiny bit of fallout with some of the shimmers. There's a little bit of kick up in the pan. I don't find there's any difficulty blending any of the shades. I think there are a couple of shades that are weaker in the sense that they're just toppers, but sometimes we want a topper. I find that the shimmer shadows are more dry, like the one that's supposed to be wet foiled look. I don't feel like it feels creamy. Just personal taste. Like I said, no fatal flaws. If you like a pink purple look, you're gonna love this palette. I don't think it's particularly unique or particularly dynamic. Do I think that I got my $69 out of it? I don't. Am I happy that I have it in my collection? I'm not. I will probably gift this palette. I'm not going to be wearing these looks, and if I do want to wear these looks, I can get them out of another palette. So don't hate on me if you love it. It's a taste thing. The quality is okay. It is okay. And if you want this palette, I do have 15% off. You can get it with my code MONA, M-O-N-A. It's just not my favorite. You know, I think that the looks that I created today are among my favorites that I have created from this palette. I think when I do a big, smoky, blown out purple look, it is overpowering to my fair complexion and my blue eyes. It just looks too much. Now this is her holiday edition, so I guess if I was going to a holiday event, maybe it wouldn't be too much, but I wouldn't choose these colors. I would probably choose more of a palette like the new release by Charlotte Tilbury with all the pinks. That would probably be my go-to. Or I love the Urban Decay Star palette. I love the shimmers in there. I love the Moon Dust formula, but they would be sparkly but more muted colors. Do I like this eye look? I do. This one is not too bad either. It's just, I can get that from other palettes. Just my opinion, just my honest opinion. Hope that helps you decide if you haven't picked it up, if this is something that you want to pick up. I mean, you can definitely do a full out, big, glam purple eye if that's what you want. But it's just not a color story that I enjoy. I would really like that darkest purple, and that would be probably the shade in this palette that I use the most, and then the pinks. And I have a lot of pink palettes. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please give me a thumbs up. I would also appreciate it if you leave me a little comment letting me know that you watched. If you don't want to leave a comment, just leave an emoji. I'd like to know you were here. And thank you so much for watching. I don't take that for granted at all. And we have a fun another video coming up, and we have a palette that I actually love, and I can't wait to show you that one. I'm more excited about that one than this one. Even though I do think we pulled off an okay look. And I am a makeup enthusiast, I am not a makeup artist, so I know that there are other people who can make these looks look wow. But if you're looking to see what an everyday woman with minimal makeup skills can do with a palette like this, this is kind of what you can do. So thank you for being here. I will see you in the next video.
So what's under this outer smile? We'll never know. She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's not